There is no depth of villains in the DC universe, and talking about villains, there is one who is a chilling amalgamation of man and machine, Metallo. With a heart of cold steel and a thirst for power that is both insatiable and deadly, Metallo reigns as a technological terror that sends shivers down heroes' spines and fans' imaginations. He is incredibly strong, but what truly cements Metallo as a force to be reckoned with is his deep-seated vendetta against the Man of Steel himself. In today's video, we will explore his unique anatomy and the powers and abilities that come along with it. Intrigued? Well, keep on watching. Before we go into our explanation, we have a very small request. If you like our content, please support us by subscribing to our channel. This is a small click for you, but for us, it means a lot. Thank you, and let's begin.
In the flesh. My new friends from Intergang found me right where you
Exploring Metallo's unique cybernetic enhancement. How did John Corbin turn into a Kryptonite-powered cyborg? John Corbin's transformation into the Kryptonite-powered cyborg known as Metallo is a tale of desperation. Science gone awry in a fateful encounter with an over-ambitious scientist driven by revenge. Once a cunning and ruthless criminal, Corbin found himself in an unfortunate car crash which fatally injured him. This is when the sinister genius of a clandestine organization with advanced technological capabilities entered the scene. Cybernetics expert Professor Emmett Vale, who was fixated on the notion that Superman was the leader of an extraterrestrial invasion after seeing the ship that transported the young Kal-El to Earth and misinterpreting a message from his father Jor-El to his son, discovered the dying Corbin. He then decided to save Corbin and use him as his personal soldier to fight the Man of Steel. Offering Corbin a tantalizing chance at immense power, he subjected him to a radical experiment that replaced his failing human organs with a cybernetic body, effectively turning him into a living weapon. The only part that was kept intact was Corbin's brain, but a true piece de resistance that would change the entire trajectory of Corbin's life was a Kryptonite heart, a pulsating green gem that granted Corbin the ability to emit the one element Superman was vulnerable to, a power other Superman villains would kill for. However, Metallo did not take kindly to being ordered around by Professor Vale, and the scientist was killed by Metallo when the villain broke his neck, since, according to Metallo, Vale had outlived his usefulness after he had given Corbin's cybernetic body a more human appearance. Ever since then, Metallo has been a thorn in Superman's side. Interestingly, thanks to various sponsors, Metallo's physical body has been altered multiple times during his criminal career, which made him go from the unfeeling steel to a trans-organic substance that was similar to his previous biology, making him more normal or human-like. Although it must be noted that even his origin story has been changed and presented to fans and audiences in a few different ways. For example, in Superman the Animated Series, he was a mercenary who was caught, sent to Stryker, and subsequently diagnosed with a rare terminal viral disease. In this situation, his life was saved by Lex Luthor and LexCorp, who turned him into Metallo. Does Metallo have a heart, and how does it work? Yes, Metallo has a heart, but it is not a biological one like a human's. In fact, he has no need for the human heart since his body does not have blood and does not need oxygen. It automatically negates the need for any circulation or pumping function. Further, as we have already discussed, when Corbin was involved in the tragic accident, Professor Vale saved him by transplanting his brain into a cybernetic body. Thus, in most depictions of the character in DC Comics, Metallo's heart is a piece of technology powered by a Kryptonite energy source. This Kryptonite heart serves as both his power source and a crucial weapon against Superman, as the radiation emitted from the heart can weaken and harm the Man of Steel due to his well-known vulnerability to Kryptonite. The concept of Metallo's heart being powered by Kryptonite adds an extra layer of danger to his character, specifically as Superman's adversary. However, the specifics of how his heart functions can vary depending on the storyline or the writer's interpretation. In some versions, the heart is shown to be essential for keeping Metallo alive, while in others, it's more of a control center for his cybernetic body. However, in most depictions, he has a power source connected to his heart that provides him exceptional strength and energy projection powers.
Impressive. Wasn't even trying.
How physically strong is Metallo? Metallo stands as a formidable physical powerhouse within the DC universe, and his strength and durability are amplified to extraordinary levels thanks to his cybernetic enhancements. Fueled by a Kryptonite heart, his bionic components endow him with superhuman might that rivals even the strongest players in the DC universe. His cybernetically enhanced muscle structure and body form grant Metallo the ability to effortlessly lift immense weights, break through walls and solid structures, and engage in intense confrontations with metahumans and superheroes with incredible ease. Furthermore, the virtually indestructible alloy that makes up his cybernetic body renders him almost invulnerable to conventional attacks. He is literally able to shrug off blows that would otherwise incapacitate weaker villains and heroes. Metallo's huge frame and the ominous glow of his kryptonite heart embody an evil power that can lay waste to most cities and challenge the mightiest of heroes, Superman. With his physical prowess, Metallo has become a living engine of destruction, a relentless force that embodies the twisted fusion of man and machine, always ready to fight all those who dare to stand against him.
Man, it's all I am now. It's who I am.
How does Metallo's incredible brain work? Metallo's unique powers extend beyond his physical might. He, interestingly, has access to the realm of unparalleled cerebral capabilities. His cybernetic brain, a fusion of human intellect and cutting-edge technology, is a hub of computational prowess, augmented with advanced implants. It transforms Metallo into a tactical genius capable of unrivaled strategic calculations. His mind is literally a computer, folks. Complex mathematical calculus comes to him as second nature, allowing him to formulate precise tactical maneuvers and strategic plans on the fly. But that is not all. Interestingly, within the complex recesses of his metallic mind exists a personal memory log that meticulously documents his progress and experiences. This internal data bank not only chronicles his evolution, but serves as a goldmine of knowledge that refines his strategies with each encounter. He simply gets better and better with each fight, which makes him incredibly tough to beat. However, perhaps the most astonishing aspect of Metallo's cognitive powers is a power called accelerated probability prediction. Powered by a rapid processing engine, his brain can analyze multiple variables and foresee the most probable outcomes of any situation, right down to the fractions of a second. This uncanny ability to predict the ebb and flow of battle grants him an edge that transcends brute strength, allowing him to navigate chaos with the precision of a supercomputer. Metallo's incredible brain, an amalgamation of raw intellect and cybernetic augmentation, elevates him from a mere antagonist to a chilling strategist. Different types of kryptonite that Metallo added to his arsenal. Metallo's evolution into an even deadlier force happened when he aligned himself with Lex Luthor's Revenge Squad, a move that granted him access to a devastating array of kryptonite-based enhancements. These sinister modifications brought a spectrum of kryptonite variations into his already intimidating arsenal, each with distinct and treacherous effects. Among them, the notorious green kryptonite stands out as the most lethal, with its toxic touch capable of inducing fatal harm to Kryptonian biology. Metallo gained a powerful weapon against the Man of Steel himself. Adding to his tactical versatility, Metallo also wields the red kryptonite, which has the power to temporarily distort Superman's DNA for unpredictable outcomes, throwing his powers into chaotic flux. Not only does he have access to green and red kryptonite, he also holds the blue kryptonite. Blue kryptonite's introduction, a gift from Luthor, unveiled Metallo's strategic side. This kryptonite enabled him to control Bizarro, the reverse clone of Superman, and was given to him by Luthor. Last but not least, he also has control of the gold kryptonite, a weaponized version that is able to temporarily strip Kryptonians of their abilities, leaving them vulnerable for precious seconds. This power allows Metallo to exploit his fleeting weakness with surgical precision. With this arsenal of diverse kryptonite types, Metallo's capabilities transcend brute strength, unveiling a scheming villainy that exploits the very essence of Superman's vulnerabilities. Metallo's embrace of these tainted gems serves as a testament to his transformation from a mere cyborg to a cunning strategist and formidable villain. What are some of his major weaknesses? Metallo, for all his cybernetic might and calculated malevolence, also has an array of weaknesses that serve as chinks in his otherwise strong armor. His inherent dependency on kryptonite heart is chief among these weaknesses. Without this pulsating core, he faces the inconvenient problem of his systems shutting down, rendering him little more than a dormant metal husk. It is a fragility that paradoxically arises from his power, an Achilles heel that also fuels his strength. Adding to this vulnerability is the precarious stability of his powers. Metallo's superhuman might is often a double-edged sword, prone to fluctuations that, if mishandled, can turn against him, crippling his own combat capabilities. This power instability is a constant reminder of the delicate balance he must maintain. A tightrope walk between dominance and self-implosion. Technological reliance further compounds his weaknesses. While his cybernetic enhancements grant him immense power, they also shackle him to machinery for basic mobility and functions. Without technological support, he becomes completely immobilized. He is a slave to his cybernetic body. Yet perhaps his most intriguing weakness lies within the intricacies of his character. Metallo's lack of imagination, mirrored in pettiness, temper, and ego, has often proven to be his undoing. Despite his computational brilliance, his inability to think beyond the obvious often wraps him in his own schemes, leading to his downfall. His inflated ego often blinds him to the full spectrum of possibilities, rendering him susceptible to strategies that exploit his psychological limitations. However, it is thanks to Metallo's weaknesses that he is a multi-dimensional antagonist, a paradoxical mix of raw power and fragile limitations. His vulnerabilities stem not only from his design, but also from the depths of his flawed persona. Being all-powerful and perfect is Superman's job after all. Could Metallo reproduce? While Metallo was still a human named John Corbin, it is likely that he did have the ability to reproduce unless he had some unknown health complications. However, ever since his brain was transplanted into the iconic Metallo cybernetic body, it has become biologically impossible for him to be able to father children of any kind. Metallo, as a cybernetic being with a human brain encased in a mechanical body, is not biologically capable of reproduction in the same way that living organisms can. His body lacks the necessary biological systems for reproduction, such as reproductive organs, DNA, and the ability to engage in the processes of conception and birth. Thus, it is safe to say that we won't see little Metallos running around in the pages of DC Comics anytime soon. Is Metallo virtually immortal? Metallo is not technically immortal in the traditional sense. While his cybernetic enhancements grant him enhanced durability and longevity, his life is still contingent on various factors such as the functionality of his technology, maintenance, and the availability of his power source, which is usually his kryptonite heart. However, Metallo's resilience and the fact that his body is predominantly composed of durable cybernetic components allow him to withstand a significant amount of damage that would be fatal to a regular human. He can survive injuries that would prove to be lethal for most individuals, and his cybernetic body gives him a level of longevity beyond that of a typical human. He is considered to be virtually immortal since his cybernetic body can always be repaired and he will pretty much never age. It's worth noting that Metallo's immortality, or rather his potential for extended existence, is tied to the stability and maintenance of his cybernetic systems. If these technological components were to fail or become irreparably damaged, he could face deactivation or even death. Metallo is an incredibly unique character with an existence that is a constant threat to the beloved Man of Steel. His unique physical composition allows writers a lot of scope to experiment with him, thus making him an interesting and complex villain. Would you like to see Metallo on the big screen? Tell us in the comments section down below.